don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, of course I didn't turn the overlay off. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the 479th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. Today's been a day, ladies and gentlemen. I've been busy and running since the start of the day. It's been one of those days. I actually got together with an individual that had some rather interesting information for me, and it will turn out to be some rather interesting information for all of you. I was going to try to get through all of it before showtime tonight, and then by about 10 till 8, I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to get through all of this. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to not do a show tonight. And I just about canceled the show tonight. But something else has happened. I figured I'll just put the information that I gathered today on hold, and I'll continue looking through it. Tonight, when we get off the show, I'll go through the rest of it, and we'll go from there on that. We'll talk about that later in the week, but we do have three rather interesting topics to discuss this evening. A topic out of Muncie, a topic out of Anderson, and then a topic out of our county to the north, a county that we don't really normally talk about, a city that we normally don't talk about, but I've been getting inundated by people all day. It started last night, and I got a couple messages, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna talk about this. But then the messages I started getting today, I thought, oh, maybe that's something that we need to talk about. So we're going to be talking about something out of Blackford County, Hartford City area. So I'm telling you, folks, if you're somebody that just periodically checks in and don't normally watch the show on a routine, I would tell you for at least the next couple of weeks, you might want to just watch each night that we're on, or at least catch it via replay, because we're going to have some interesting things over the next couple of weeks. If you're someone that watches frequently, then no big deal. But all right, hey, before we get started, I do want to ask that you please consider smashing that like button. That would be fantastic if you could do us a favor and give us a like. That's all that we ask you to do to help us out. If you could smash that like button and get that there, that would be great. Someone said, I always like when someone says, Kristopher Bilbrey, well said. People don't normally say that because they're idiots. But I always like when somebody, I was waiting on Kate to click the button, but she didn't. So yeah, click that like that, smash that button. She must be doing something. Smash that like button, do that thing. You guys know what to do. It's YouTube. Figure it out or don't. You know what I mean? That's the thing, Clinton. Half like me and half hate me. But the funny thing is, all listen. So it doesn't really matter if you like or you don't like. The fact that they listen is what matters. And it all helps us out. It's all good. Okay. So tonight, we're going to be talking about a couple different areas. I'm going to try to get this pulled up here. Give me 1 second. So the weather seems like it's kind of letting up a little bit. Does it seem like that to you? It doesn't seem as ridiculous as it was last week. The humidity's still kind of there. It seems like we've switched. I guess like last week it was hot and humid. Now the humidity's dropped a little bit, but the heat is still there. So it is what it is. But listen, it won't be long until we're bitching about being cold. You know how people are. Okay, City of Muncie. Dustin Clark is back at Prairie Creek. That's one thing that we're going to be discussing this evening. So that's a thing. The next topic that we will be discussing is the city of Anderson. Mayor Broderick's son faces up to 10.5 years in prison. Some say finally. Finally. Yeah, I bet it is. I bet that is. Where are you down? Where are you about down there, Clinton? I haven't been down to Tennessee in a long time. I like Sticky. It reminds me of Dustin Clark. Rockwood. Okay, I've never been there, but I know where you're talking about. And then the third topic: City of Muncie, Dustin Clark back at Prairie Creek. Second topic: City of Anderson, the mayor's son faces up to 10.5 years in prison. And then the third topic is Blackford County. Wild party ends with a shooting fatality and multiple questions about procedures as it relates to law enforcement. So we're going to be talking about those three things. Producer Kate is at the controls as always. And We were talking last night when we got off the show. We are just not too many episodes away from the 500th episode. And so I feel like we probably should come up with something to do for our 500th episode, but I don't really know what yet. So if you guys have any ideas on what we should do, either comment them down below over the next 20-some episodes, or private message them to myself or Kate, or email, however you contact us. You can either let us know here on the show, or you can contact us if it's something that we could do. Could be interesting. Something in public. What is this? Oh, I did that myself. Audie's not coming on. What the hell? That was weird. Yeah, yes. You do that, Megan. That's fine. You plan that, and that'd be hilarious. That could, God only knows what would happen. Free gift cards for everybody. $100 gift card. 500. It's the 500 of the show, so we'll do $500 gift cards for everyone. I want to know where that cigarette tax is going. Yeah, right. Well, I don't smoke, so it doesn't affect me. Maybe Kate has an opinion on that. Same place the gas tax is going, and going and everywhere else. Straight into the pockets of the assholes that we don't like. Okay, so listen, I'll be honest. I don't have a whole lot really to say. I about canceled tonight, honestly, because we're just kind of in a holding pattern here while we're waiting on information. I did send in a request for records. I'll let you guys know. I did send in a record request to the auditor's office in Randolph County. And that record request that I sent in, stand by here one second. I've got to copy this. Give me one second. Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry there. So I did. I did send in the records request to Laura Martin. Laura Martin is the auditor for Randolph County. And so I submitted a record request to Laura. And in 10 seconds, I'm going to tell you what it was. Give me one second. I'm trying to get this sent to a couple people here that I know would be interested in what's going on. So I sent the record request in to Laura, and that record request was for the following information. I actually sent it in yesterday, and I said, "Good morning, Auditor Martin. I'm sending this request for records to you on Sunday, June 28th, 2025. So you will have it when you arrive at your office on Monday, June 30th, 2025. Along with completing my record request, I am also asking that you send this email to all 3 commissioners as well as all 7 county councilors. This request relates to actions taken by Commissioner Missy Williams, Randolph County Commissioner Missy Williams, outside of her duties as a county commissioner. And her actions could or should possibly lead to legal action. The council and the other two commissioners should be aware of this. Under Indiana's Access to Public Record Act, I, Kristopher H. Bilbrey of the Political Spotlight, am requesting the opportunity to inspect or obtain copies of the following records. Copies of emails sent and received by Commissioner Williams on her official email account provided to her by the county, as well as her personal email account, missywilliams2529@gmail.com, between January 1 of 2025 and June 30 of 2025. The emails I am requesting include communications to and from Winchester Mayor Bob McCoy, Winchester City Councilors John Boyd, Terry Bear Alfrey, Jim Nunez, Nan Harris, and John Bruchin. Also, emails to Winchester City Clerk Carrie Sayer, Randolph County Surveyor Ed Thornburg, City County Attorney Meeks Snidely Cockrell, and Winchester citizens Bill and Linda Bush. The subject matter of the emails that I am requesting would be the private property owned by Mr. Matt Cook and Mr. Cannon Briggs that Commissioner Williams wanted the city to steal, all because her friend wanted a shortcut to Walmart and an easier time parking their guests at their homes on Turkey Day. The requested information is in the public's interest and will contribute significantly to the public's understanding of how the local government of Randolph County operates. Moreover, it will show how out of touch with reality that Commissioner Missy Williams is. And this will help foster communication and transparency and allow for appropriate accountability among all parties involved. And so I submitted that to Laura, and she had that yesterday. So she had that when she walked in today. And I'm asking for emails. Emails are records that should be really very easy for them to comply with. This request, at an absolute maximum, should take no longer than a week. I submitted these to her. She received this. She should have sent this out almost immediately. And I should have these records back, honestly, tomorrow. So, I mean, there's no reason that I shouldn't have them back tomorrow. But I can be realistic and I can give her a week. That makes sense. She responded back to me today. She responded to me at 1:41 p.m. And she says, Mr. Bilbrey, I have your receipt. I have received your requests, and I will have a response within 30 days. Within 30 days. Yeah, right. Within 30 days. Within 30 days. I'll have your request within 30 days. So I sent a response back to her and said, 30 days? That's crazy. But it's Winchester/Randolph County. So what is one to expect? That's just what I sent it back to her. Now, she has not responded back to me. And so what I assume I will do probably is about every day or maybe every other day, I might send some little quip about how ridiculous that is. It's honestly ludicrous. So that's sent out. Then I've got some more records pertaining to what I was talking about last night about the sex offender, on again, off again criminal, every couple of years getting in new crimes, bribery, selling badges to people, doing all sorts of craziness. Friend of the lieutenant governor. So once I get through all of those records, we will do a follow-up to that. It'll probably be towards the end of this week, but I'll keep you guys posted. Along with that, and along with this, I also submitted a record request to the city of Muncie. Hello, Jammo. Never seen you around here before, but we like new people in these parts. Hello there, Jeremy Millsaps. She's usually quicker than that, to be fair. She is usually quicker than that, to be fair, but she is also, Kate, really good friends with Missy. And so I feel like she's probably playing the bullshit game, so we'll see. And she would probably be quicker with you than she would be me. Real quick, hold on. Can you pull up for 1 second? I was talking to some people last night, and people were like, I was talking to someone, and they were like, I was like, well, yeah, Kate and Brandon. And they were like, wait a minute, who's Kate and Brandon? And I was like, what?
I'm Kate. Hi.
Who's Kate and Brandon? Well, this is Kate. Kate's the producer here. And Brandon is the other guy. There's 3 people down here. There's me, Brandon, and Kate. Brandon is a co-host here, but Brandon and his wife are both currently in the process of becoming higher learned people. His wife is currently in the middle of getting her PhD, and he's in the process of getting his master's. So he's taking some time away. He's still very active here. He's very active behind the scenes and helping, shooting off ideas. And he pops on every now and then. But, we let him do his thing. But this is Kate, producer Kate. So for everybody that didn't know who this is, that's producer Kate.
I'm here. I usually hide, though.
Yeah, right. She's just down in the bottom. I can see her, but you guys can't. When it seems like I'm talking to somebody, but that I'm not talking to the audience, but I'm talking to somebody else, Kate is who I'm talking to.
It's usually because I'm down there making a face or flipping middle fingers
Yeah.
or something weird like that.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Or mouthing and flailing.
Right. Well, thank you. That's all I needed.
Okay.
I appreciate it, as always. Thanks, Kate. Brandon is not a bot. Yeah, he is not. He is real, I promise. And Brandon is not a bot. Meg has bangs too. Jesus. Clinton is also not a bot. So the record request that I sent into Muncie was concerning Mr. Dustin Clark. And I told you guys a little bit last night that the reason that I sent a request in to Dustin, or about Dustin, was because I had been told that something fishy's going on. So I submitted a record request to the city of Muncie this morning, and I got a tracking number back from them. And what I requested from them was the following: copies of all documentation, records, forms showing how much money the city of Muncie has paid Dustin Clark and or Michelle Owen and or Hoosier Municipal Operations LLC and or Greenlight Resources from January 1 through June 30th, 2025. So the entirety of the 6-month period from 1/1/25 to 6/30/25. I also requested copies of each check paid out to Dustin Clark or Michelle Owen or Hoosier Municipal Operations LLC or Greenlight Resources from January 1 through June 30th, 2025, the entirety of the 6-month period between 1/1/25 and 6/30/25. I then requested copies of each invoice submitted to the city of Muncie from Dustin Clark, Michelle Owen, Hoosier Municipal Operations, LLC, or the Greenlight Resources from January 1 through June 30th, yada, yada, yada. And then finally, I submitted a request for copies of any new and or revised / amended contracts between the city of Muncie and Dustin Clark and or Michelle Owen and or Hoosier Municipal Operations, LLC, and or Greenlight Resources from January 1 through June 30th, 2025, the whole 6-month period between 1/1/25 and 6/30/25. And the reason I've done all of this is it seems as though, number one, there are people who are reaching out to me from inside City Hall that are telling me they feel as though Dustin is starting to make more and more and more money, that the amount of money that Mr. Clark is pulling in from the city of Muncie is a large amount of money. As we told you last night, for the month of May, he made like $14,000 plus for just 1 month. And if you compare that to the actual work that the man is doing, it's laughable. Now, I'm sure he is submitting invoice after invoice after invoice that's saying that he's working loads of hours. But Mayor Ridenour certainly can't be fooled by what's going on. And I'll tell you, for everybody that is out there that loves Prairie Creek, that goes to Prairie Creek, that camps at Prairie Creek, that swims at Prairie Creek, that fishes at Prairie Creek, that goes out and walks or rides or horses or ATVs or whatever you do at Prairie Creek. I heard today that for whatever reason on the planet, Dustin, on behalf of Dan, is working the negotiations between Indiana American Water and the city of Muncie. Now, I can tell you, the person that you want running the negotiations for one of Muncie's biggest assets, you don't want that person running that to be Dustin Clark. Wayne Scaife, you're 1,000% right. Something fishy is going on. You are 1,000% right, sir. So number one, I'm hearing that he is involved with the negotiations between the water company and the city of Muncie. That's not going to end well for the citizens that love Prairie Creek. I can just tell you, I don't feel like that's going to end well. I do not believe that Dustin has the mental wherewithal and the proper understanding to fully go at this as a person should, because he's not all there. Well, so yes and no, Wayne. So I don't know. So you're aware that he quit working at Prairie Creek, and then he was a contract employee. And I'm going to tell you, that's the reason I issued those record requests, because I've heard that he's on track to pull in $200,000 this year. I'm hearing that if everything stays the way that it is going, or if it increases, that he is on track to pull in $200,000+ this year. That said, he's been getting money through Edit as a contract employee. However, besides being on the negotiation team or leading the negotiation team or whatever the situation is, today, just honestly within the last hour or two, I started hearing multiple people telling me that, because what Jackie just said here, because Tawny is on maternity leave, that for the next foreseeable future, until she returns from her maternity leave, Dustin Clark is now back at the Prairie Creek Reservoir doing whatever it is that he does out there at Prairie Creek. Now, it's strange to me because when Dustin left, Dustin was replaced by someone. Give me a second. Let me think of her name. What's her name? Anybody. Spider about got me, but I got it. You saw it. Y'all saw it in real time there. We about had to shut the show down, but I got it. Bastard. Sorry. We were attacked by a spider there for a second. Woo! I was quick on the draw on that one. Holy hell. All right, we're back to normal here. What is the Kelly woman's name? I can't, for the love of God, think of what her name is. Let me go to the city's page here. Nope. Stumblefoot, no such thing. When it comes down to you send me in a room with 10 bad guys, I got no problem with that. You send me in to a room with a spider, and all bets are off. Muncie. Prairie Creek Reservoir. So Tweety Bird, basically it was a situation like this. It was Prairie Creek Reservoir was ran the way that it was ran. And no, Ashley, well, so that's something interesting. So we're getting real. Hold on, back up here. Let me. What is her name? Damn it. Hold on here. I'm on the city's Kelly McClellan. Now, Kelly McClellan was in the city's parks department as the urban forester. However, when Dustin left, they transferred her out to Prairie Creek. But now, as I'm on the city staff directory at this point, it says she's the urban forester again. So I need to get a hold of her and find out what the deal is. Is she not in charge of Prairie Creek anymore? Did they move that around? See, Dan does so much of this weirdness that we have no one really knows. There's no actual communication. Ashley Wright. You want to know something strange about Ashley Wright? I will show you. Let me send this out here. I know what I can do. So, what's interesting to me is there was never an issue between Indiana American Water Company and Ashley Wright did work at Prairie Creek Reservoir. And then all of the sudden, this happened. Share this to you here. All of a sudden, on May 31st, 2025, Ashley Wright started a new job at Indiana American Water Company. And just amazingly, we all of a sudden start having issues with Indiana American Water? Could it be that Mrs. Wright is going to them and is talking about how things happen at the Prairie Creek? I mean, I don't believe in coincidences, honestly. I can't, I don't do them. And this is just really big coincidence here that I either have to say, oh yeah, that seems normal, because she worked at Prairie Creek. She worked for the city. And then she worked part-time and she went to work for the hotel in downtown Muncie. And then she left the hotel in downtown Muncie. And actually, in this comment, because it says started new job at Indiana American Water, and it says in Greenwood, Indiana, and somebody said, "Oh, are you going to have to move?" And she said, "Oh no, I'm working out of the Muncie office." And when Stumblefoot here says, "Is Wright maybe a little political?" Maybe a little political. Her husband works on the street department for the city of Muncie and is very questionable about what things that go on. They are very political. She's ran for political office before. Ashley has. And so I just feel like there might be something here. But she's gone. I don't know what's going on with Kelly McClellan. Tawny is off on leave, and now Dustin Clark is back at Prairie Creek, and that's where all of the trouble started with to begin with. And I've heard that he's going to be out there until after the Iron Man. I can just tell you, I don't trust him. I do not trust him out there. And I don't understand why or how Dan trusts him. And I know for a fact that people in City Hall, Dan's other employees at City Hall, they don't trust Dustin. I know Dustin is not trusted and not liked by most of the people at City Hall. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to get me all of this Dustin information. I requested quite a bit of information, but honestly, everything that I requested should be a matter of typing in Dustin's name, typing in the date, and hitting print. Okay, Tweety Bird. So when you say you want to know who made these Prairie Creek decisions, so like what Prairie Creek decisions are you talking about? Who added the piers? Who added the camping? Who put in the trails? Is that what you're referring to? Is that what you're referring to, Tweety Bird? Waynescape said, that's what I'm hearing too. What's he got on? Yeah, man, listen, Wayne. You know of everything I know about, bro. You know that the dude got in trouble with the solar shit. He was doing real questionable activity there. There was a whole bunch of missing property. There was a whole bunch of missing money. A whole lot of questionable activity going on. And then there was questionable activity about how he was doing his time cards. And the State Board of Accounts came in and slapped him on the hands, and they decided to do it differently. So then he created the Greenlight Resources, and we stumbled onto that. We found out they were doing dirty there. So then he killed that. So then they created the Ethics Commission, and as soon as they created the Ethics Commission in October. They got the final vote on the Ethics Commission, whether we agree or we disagree on the seriousness of it or what it can do or it can do or can't do. I just find it ironic that they vote on the Ethics Commission at the October City Council meeting, and he resigns his position in November. Less than 30 days later, Dustin resigns his position with the city of Muncie, but he's not gone because they're going to bring him back as a contract employee. Not only a contract employee, but a contract employee that's getting paid, wait for it, $125 an hour. Up to, remember, isn't that right? Wasn't that what it was? $125 an hour. So he's not technically back on the payroll. He's just getting paid. He's just getting paid out of edit money, out of the edit. And apparently, there's just a never, ever ending supply of money in the edit funds because Dan just keeps handing it over, hand over fist, money. So we're going to keep our eyes on the prize here. We're going to keep our eyes on the ball, and we're going to find out what's going on. I'm going to do a little digging out in Prairie Creek and try to find some stuff out. I'm going to see what's going on there. We've got this record request in. Hopefully it won't take them 6 months to give me this information. I'm going to really push them. I'm going to really push them hard on this. We had someone in Red Key not going there, not doing the time card appropriate. Also was paid way more comp time. State Board of Accounts called them out, but did nothing. Yeah. Yes, Jackie. Well, so Kelly McClellan was the Parks Department urban forester. Then after Dustin left, she was the new Dustin out at Prairie Creek. She was the new person in charge and was for months. But now when I go back on the city's website, they have her listed back as the Parks urban forester. So I don't know if she went and then came back. I don't know if I was pretty sure that they had changed her title. So I don't know. But I'm going to have to contact her and find out. Matter of fact, I've already sent out a message to ask her, but I haven't got a response back yet. So okay. So this is official. This is coming in official right off the hot off the presses. Kelly McClellan is Carl Malone's assistant, like deputy assistant. Kelly McClellan's official title for the city of Muncie is Parks Assistant Superintendent. Catch my drift? That's what they call her. They call Kelly McClellan the City of Muncie Parks Assistant Superintendent. She is the assistant over Parks and Prairie Creek. Kelly said that Dustin was brought back to help for up to 2 weeks with Ron Bonham Day and the Iron Man, since Tawny is on medical leave until August, and the other office worker Carly gave her notice. So there we have it, folks. And we're just gonna have to watch what Dustin does out there. I don't trust him. I just do not trust him. No one else should. I cannot believe Dan does. I think it's ridiculous. So there's that. We'll continue following up with that when I have more to offer for this, with you, for that, and all this. I will bring it to you and give you everything that we have as soon as we get these records in pertaining to Dustin. I know you'll all be interested to see that. We'll go over everything basically since he's been in this new position. So we'll see how much money he's been paid since January 1st. And what we'll do is we'll have to guess. We'll have to try to guess how much money Dustin has made. We'll do like a see who gets closest to it thing. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, hello, Brenda. On to the city of Anderson. Anderson Mayor Broderick has been a very controversial figure. That is putting it lightly. Yes, that's right, Jackie. He is. It's strange that he has so much to do with the parks. I don't know. We shall see. Time will tell. Okay, so some of you will remember this. Some of you might not. The people from the Madison County, Anderson area will definitely know this. And listen, this is always a touchy subject for me, because when someone is an adult, okay, when someone is an adult, their parents aren't responsible for the actions they do. And if you have an elected official out here, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat or mayor or commissioner or president or what the deal is, and they're living their life, doing their job, being public servant, doing whatever, and you've got their family member out here doing dumbass stuff, in my opinion, as long as they don't attempt to sway anything, I don't cover it. I don't talk about it. However, with the Brodricks, that is not the case. How long? I can't even recall. Let me see here. Give me just a second. Look here. Okay. Anderson, Indiana Mayor Thomas Brodrick. See. How long has Brodrick been mayor? Has he been mayor? I want to say he was mayor. Let's find out here. I think he's in his third term. Yeah, but was he mayor before and then he came back? No. Okay. I've got the list here. Kevin Smith was mayor for the first time in 2004 to 2008. Then Chris Ackerman won from 2008 to 2012. Then Kevin Smith ran and won again the second time and was mayor from 2012 to 2016. And then Thomas Brodrick ran and won, and he's now been mayor since January of 2016. So he ran in 15, 16 to 19. And then so yeah, this is his third term. And essentially, since he's been in office, he's been a turd. He's been very questionable. But his son, who used to be an attorney until his law license was taken from him, has a long history of alcohol-related issues. And for the record, that's a horrible situation. I don't wish any ill for the mayor. I don't like the mayor. I've went up against Broderick before. He and I do not like each other or get along. I have no use for him. I think he's a shitty public servant and a shitty mayor. I don't want anything bad for him or whatever, but I recall the various issues that Evan Broderick has had, and it seems as though it's not a situation where he gets in trouble and the mayor just allows it to play out. It seems as if Evan Broderick has gotten in trouble and he's never really had to pay the price for his dealings. Well, he was arrested back some time ago, and they've been going through the court case, it's been stalling out, taking forever. And today, just fresh from the Herald Bulletin, this is in from Ken Delabatiste. Son of Anderson Mayor Thomas Broderick Jr. faces up to 10.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to felony drunken driving charges and habitual offender charges. Evan Broderick, 43, from the 1200 block of Winding Way, entered a guilty plea Monday in Madison County Circuit Court Division 5 to charges of operating a vehicle while intoxicated and being a habitual vehicular substance offender. Okay. Judge Scott Norrick, Norrick has been in the hot seat for some time. Norrick ordered Broderick to be incarcerated straight away. Straight away. He didn't let him leave, as is normally the case. Judge Scott Norrick ordered Broderick to be incarcerated at the Madison County Jail until his July 30th sentencing hearing. A charge of neglect of a dependent against the younger Broderick was dismissed by Special Prosecutor Richard Hurdle as the Ripley County prosecutor in May. And I want to tell you, when this man was originally pulled over, he had his young child in the car with him. Absolutely gross. The charge against Evan Broderick stems from an arrest from February of 2023. I remember when this happened. I was in Texas when this happened. And it was just nuts. From February 18th, 2023, after police received a call that an intoxicated person was leaving a restaurant with a child in the car, Broderick was taken into custody without incident. Evan Broderick was arrested also in July of 2020 by Edgewood police after they received a call that a mailbox had been struck by a car along Sunset Drive. He was sentenced to a year on probation on charges of driving under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident. About 2 years before, Evan Broderick was arrested in September of 2018 after police responded to calls that a vehicle had struck a pole along Rabel Avenue in Anderson. Police reports noted a trail of radiator coolant leading from the site of the crash to Evan Broderick's damaged SUV in a nearby Wendy's parking lot in Edgewood, just west of Anderson. Police found a loaded handgun in that SUV. Evan Broderick entered pleas of guilty in the 2018 case to misdemeanor charges of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, endangering a person, and leaving the scene of an accident. He received a suspended sentence and resigned as Assistant City of Anderson Attorney in 2018. Now, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Broderick family. So that's the extent of Ken Delabatiste's article. There's nothing else stemming from that. Now, I have to say, for all of the heat that Judge Norick has received, the fact that he went up against the mayor in this situation, and the fact that he jailed Evan ahead of the sentencing, will more than likely win him the election if anyone runs against him. What he did today was pretty crazy, because generally that doesn't happen. But I would think that he's thinking in the back of his mind about the other situation where they allowed someone who is a political figure to just skate off into the sunset, Stephen Sumner's, and that guy is still wanted. So I think that he probably saw Evan as a flight risk, and that's the reason he did what he did today. And I, for one, give him a round of applause for it. I think that what he's done here has been a good thing, because he could absolutely kill somebody. He could absolutely kill somebody. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There is some allegations that there were some utterances in the courtroom after Evan was sentenced, or not, he wasn't sentenced, after he pled guilty and after the judge ordered him to be taken into custody. There are allegations that there was some back and forth. I have yet to be able to confirm that. I have been talking to somebody who was actually in the courtroom. I'm hoping they will email me back here just momentarily. I'm literally texting somebody who was in the courtroom today, and hopefully they will confirm this, because if they can confirm that there were these utterances, I'll tell you what was said. But I will let you know. Give me just 1 second here. Pull this up. Broderick has a long history of legal trouble, and it's been a thing where who he is and who his dad is has helped get him out of a lot of trouble, and we really need to get away from that, because listen, being mayor doesn't really mean anything. Specifically, being mayor of Muncie or being mayor of Anderson, you're nobody. That's not something important, and for us to think that should allow these people some kind of special privilege that you or I certainly wouldn't get is just absolutely crazy to me. And I'm going to say I fully believe that Norick sentences him to the 10 years. I believe that we will see that. I think that Broderick's history demands that happens. And listen, I want to be clear. I'm not being harsh on Mr. Broderick. He needs to get treatment. I hope for his sake, for his family's sake, he's got a small child. I hope that he gets some kind of help and something. I hope that he gets help that helps, that causes something to finally sink in. Because he's in a situation where at 43 years old, if he does 10 years and he comes out and he screws around and he gets caught again, he's going away for a long time. And by that time, his dad won't be the mayor and his last name won't mean shit. And it won't get him out of anything because his name currently doesn't seem to be getting him out of situations. So let me see here. I've got a couple of second here. I get this. No, I get that. I get that. I've got someone telling me about the outburst. The problem is I have someone that also told me the outburst didn't happen. So I'm trying to thank you very much, Megan. Thank you. I'm needing so basically here's the situation. I'm in a situation where I've got two people that I trust telling me two different things. I've got someone saying the outburst occurred, and I have someone saying the outburst did not occur. And it's not like I specifically trust Ken Delabatiste, but now on top of my two people, Ken Delabatiste didn't write anything about the outburst. That doesn't specifically mean anything because we know how Ken writes. But I'm trying to currently confirm or get like I need to get a tiebreaker basically here. What are you sending me here? Let me see what this says. Give me a second here. Stand by, folks, where I'm trying to get information here on the fly. What's this? Okay, so this is hearing journal entry and order of conviction. This matter came before the court for change of plea on June 30th, 2025, wherein the state appeared by prosecutor Richard H. Hurtle and defendant appeared in person and by counsel Kyle F. Noonan. The state appeared via the Zoom format for this proceeding by agreement of parties. The court examined the defendant, Evan Buck Broderick, upon his oath, and after having read the constitutional rights, freely and voluntarily waived those rights and proceeded with his intention to plead guilty to count 2. Operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, endangering a person less than 18 years of age, and at a level 6 felony, and a sentence enhancement, habitual vehicular substance offender, wherein defendant acknowledged having had at least 2 prior operating while intoxicated convictions occurring within the preceding 10 years. The state presented a factual basis to the court, and the defendant acknowledged the accuracy of this matter. The defendant has no reason to dispute the accuracy of the blood alcohol concentration of 0.29% per 100 milliliters of his blood, and acknowledged consumption of tequila prior to operating his motor vehicle with a minor child while he was intoxicated. Defense counsel moved to withdraw the prior plea of not guilty for the purpose of the tendering of a plea guilty to the charges, and the court granted the motion. Defendant pled guilty to count 2, operating while intoxicated, endangering a person less than 18 years of age, a level 6 felony, and sentence enhancement to an HVSO. The court, finding a factual basis, therefore enters a conviction onto the record and schedules the case for sentencing, and directs the Madison County Probation Department to update the pre-sentence investigation report and file with the court by July 17th, 2025. By agreement of counsel, this case is scheduled for sentencing hearing on July 30th, 2025 to begin at 10 a.m. in person. After a brief hearing, the court ordered the defendant to be taken into custody pending the sentencing of hearing. So ordered on June 30th, 2025. So, yeah, there's that document. And then give me 1 second here. We've got another document here. That's the same thing. What's that file 5100? That's the same document, isn't it? Let's see if I can get it to pull up. Looks like it is to me. Wait a minute. Hearing. Okay, no. All right, comes now. Comes now the court having scheduled the above captioned cause for status conference. Oh, this was days ago. This was just the defense trying to get a continuance back on June 26th, which was last week. Today's conference pertained to the upcoming jury trial next week and procedures during the conference. Counsel for defendant orally moved to withdraw his appearance. So Kyle Noonan wanted to be pulled off. The judge denied because that's basically a technique to try and continue, which I'm sure the judge was tired of playing games at this point. Additionally, the defense orally moved to continue the scheduled jury trial, which the state objected to, and the court denied the motion to continue as well. So by agreement, this case was scheduled for first choice jury trial to commence on July 1st through July 2nd. And upon objection to the court's proposed mini questionnaire of the prospective jurors prior to jury selection, it was determined those would not be given. Upon inquiry of the necessity for any further pretrial hearing, this matter neither party anticipates the need, and the court anticipates standard motions in limine may be submitted for consideration. So basically, ahead of today's court, they were trying to screw around with this. So, you know. Stand by. Let me see if I got my response back. No, I have not. So, isn't Evan a big shot in Madison County? Well, I mean, his dad is the mayor. He used to be an attorney, and he's a realtor. I wouldn't consider him a big shot. I would consider him a drunked up, has-been, washed up nobody, honestly, at this point. But I, you know, he was a long time ago, but he had to, he stepped down during one of his OWIs, and he lost his law license. They actually the bar took his license. They were like, "You're spending too much time at the other bar. We are no longer, dealing with you here." So they took his license from him. So at one point he was somebody, but he drank it away. And drove away from it at the same time. But yeah, I've never really considered him anybody special by any stretch of the imagination. Give me one more second here, and I'll see if I can get this answered here. One second. I just remember the name in the public spotlight when Daddy won the mayor's spot. Yeah. You're right. I just text one more source to find out about this outburst deal, and then if I don't get a response here, I'll tell you what the outburst was, with a caveat that I'm not currently able to confirm nor deny this one way or another. Wow, Kate is also still sending me stuff, I think, or other people are. Yeah. Evan Broderick receives 12 months suspended term. I think that's when he left the scene of an accident. That was when he lost his license, his law license. That is his law license. And give me one more second here, and then we're going to have to go on to the Madison, or to the, I keep always saying, to the Blackford County news. Give me one more moment here. Well, we'll have to come back and correct the record tomorrow or whatever. So I'm going to say this. I have heard, so we've read the article from the newspaper, and it wasn't listed in the newspaper, but I don't trust that source because we know how Ken writes. Ken, I've been in meetings where Ken's been, and sometimes I question what he's watching because I'm watching what's going on. I'm videoing what's going on. I read Ken's article, and I'm like, that's not what I just watched, and that's not what's on the video. But so I don't take Ken's writing for the end-all, be-all. But I have heard from, and again, I want to say this, and sometimes this is a problem that I run into. I have heard from a source that I trust, and I have heard from another source that I trust. And both of these sources are saying the exact opposite thing. One person is telling me that this outburst occurred, while another source is saying, no, there was never an outburst. So I don't truly know what to do with this situation. That's weird. Martin Shields, the old ex-meth attorney from Henry County, is... hello, Martin, if you're watching. Sorry, that was methed up. Anyways, so it was reported that after Judge Norick ordered Broderick into custody today, that there was some outburst from the Broderick family, and that one person, and I guess I'll say what was said, but I'm not going to say who said what. One person said something to the effect of, this isn't right. We feed this court, which doesn't make any sense to me. I guess they mean like we make this court what it is, or we bring you crime. I don't know what that means. It's like, yeah, well, sure you do. Your son's arrested every couple of months. So yeah, you're right. You do a lot to feed the court. And then someone else said something to the effect of like, that's not right. He shouldn't be going to jail because, he didn't kill anybody. And it's like, well, yeah, yet, like, that's nice. It's great. But, how many more chances behind the wheel is this guy going to get? Let's say that Norick didn't lock Evan up, and Evan goes out knowing my life is over. I'm going to be sentenced to 10 years next month. And he goes out and he gets himself drunked up and he crashes and he dies. They would love for him to have been locked up at that point. So you ought to just take it for what it is. It's not good he's in jail, but you can still talk to him. He's still alive. You still have hope that change can occur. So I would just suck it up, take it for what it is, and hopefully he can get help. It's not a good thing. I don't like that this goes on for anybody. And it is what it is. I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. The whole thing sucks. Stuff like this isn't good. So, okay. Okay. So there's that. I was not able to confirm or deny. We'll have to follow up with my sources, and I will give you the rundown on what happened. I've got people saying that this happened. I've got people saying this didn't happen. I'll let you know what my third party says when I hear from them. Yeah, he is right where he needs to be. I agree. I absolutely agree. It's just so easy to drink as much as you want. Drink until you can't move. Drink until you black out. Drink until you've got alcohol poisoning. Just don't get in the damn car. It's so easy not to do that. It's nuts. Asinine. I used to get so mad at my dad. Like literally, if my dad would take a sip of like Natty Light, he wouldn't even touch car keys. He was so scared. I was like, dude, you're not drunk. You can drive. He's like, nope. And it like, he was so unnerved by it. It like literally made me mad. And so, I can respect that, but I hate it. It's definitely a disease, and it's hardcore, and it takes such a toll on the family members and the people that worry. And, there's just a whole lot. There's a whole lot going on there. Okay. Now, that brings us to the third and last topic, and that is Blackford County. Wild party ends with shooting death and multiple questions about procedure. Now, I have to say, I started getting contacted about this yesterday, and it's always really weird. I get people who've like literally watched me for years, but still feel like I'm like deep down like an auditor, and I'm not. Or they think like deep down my purpose is about specifically taking on the police, and it's not. And so I had a couple people reach out to me yesterday saying, hey, there's this incident occurring up here, and we don't know what's going on, and you need to take a look at this. And I'm like, what is it? And they're like, it's a wild party. And I'm like, no, that's not something that I talk about in the least. Like, that makes no sense. I'm not talking about that at all. I could care less. Then today, they buried the lead, very bizarrely. Today, I'm contacted about this, and I was told there's some seriously questionable things going on up here. And I was told that it actually resulted in the death of a 21-year-old man. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a true crime podcast. I'm not a police beat. I'm not running the police beat and checking the blotter, and I don't just, whatever. But then the other information got brought to my attention, and I started hearing from sources who said something fishy's going on here because police were called to this party multiple times, and it was wildly out of control, but they did not shut it down. They didn't shut it down the first time. They didn't shut it down the second time. Then they get called out to a shooting at the party where there is a fatality, and they didn't notify the coroner's office for nearly 6 hours. They allowed all these people onto and in and around the scene, very quite possibly contaminating the crime scene, messing with the body, doing God knows what, before the coroner was contacted. And now we've got an issue. Now we've got something that I will talk about. Now, understand that I am on the very outside of this looking in. I don't know where in Madison County this took place. Like I'm going to talk to you about the location, but I'm not really familiar with Madison County, or excuse me, Blackford County. I don't know where in Blackford County this took. Blackford County is to the north of Delaware. The county seat is Hartford City. It's a small county. It is within District 33. And while I know some law enforcement officials up in the area, I don't know a whole host. I know some of the political figures. I don't know them all. And I don't have hardly any of the information. I'm going to sit down tomorrow and fire off record requests to various different agencies involved with this to try and see how much information I can get, because there is a question here. The corner in Blackford County is fine. I've never had an issue with him, never heard an issue. He is currently in the end of his second term. He has already endorsed one of his deputies, maybe his chief deputy, to run to succeed him. And I'll be honest. In my opinion, I think it would probably be a good idea if the guy that is running, if he wins the coroner's office, that the current coroner then switches roles and would be like his chief deputy, or, at least hang on as a deputy in the office. I think that would be beneficial, but time will tell. So from everything I've heard, the coroner up there is on the up and up. And from everything I've heard, the sheriff's department is on the up and up. There's some question about dealings with the Hartford City, the city police department, and there's some questions about the prosecutor's office. Go figure. So I'm going to start by showing you a video that has been recorded, and several different individuals have sent me this recording. And I got to be honest, this recording is nuts. When I saw this, I was like, wow, that is a party. And it was definitely something that everybody involved should have known. Everybody involved should have known that shit was going to hit the fan. Now, this is video that was taken by a citizen. This was a regular citizen in Blackford County. Apparently somebody who lived in the area or lives connected somewhere around there. So I'm going to show this to you. And we're going to watch it once all the way through. It's only 35 seconds long. We're going to watch it once all the way through. Then I'm going to start it over and we're going to watch it slowly. And I want you all, everybody that's watching, that's in the comments, I want you to try and count how many cars you see. And I want you to comment how many cars you count. Okay? So we're going to watch it once fast, then we're going to slow it down and count the cars. Here we go. All right, there we were. There we are. Here we go. All right, now we're going to watch it again, and we're going to slow it down. And I want you to try to count the cars, and then we're going to watch it for a third time. Hello, the realist. The realist. Good question. Good question, Meg. I don't know. We're going to slow her down and watch it. You count the cars. Then for the third and final time through, we're going to slow it down, and I'm going to try to count the cars with you. All right, so here we go. Everybody on your own, count the cars, and then write it in the comments. Let me slow the playback speed down. You guys are nuts. Here we go. We're going to do it one more time. All right, so here's 1, 2. Here's 3. Here's 4, 5. Here's 6, 7 before we switch. So 7 on that side of the road, but there's lots more. They're double parked. All right, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. 13. There's one right here. 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now look, 25, 26, 27. 28, 29, 30. The red truck here is 30. 40, because I didn't see this one. That was behind that one. So, oh, wait, are we on 31? $32. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So that was 48. And I think I slipped. When I counted this, when I was talking to the person, the last person that sent this to me, we were counting back and they were saying that there was at least 60 there. And that was just in counting. There were more than that. There were way too many people at this thing. And they were being called. Let me look back through this and tell you what the police were initially being called for. Let me go back and see. Let me go back and see what this was. Okay. Saying house had so many burnouts in the front yard of it. They're always raising hell there. This is a house where they have lots of parties like this. This is not a first time. They're double stacked in the yard. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Two hours after this video is when the shooting occurs. The person who recorded this video and it's on social media, but I'm not naming there. Will there be alcohol? I'm not naming this person because while I reached out to this person, and while we've been doing this video, the person has reached out to me. I haven't. I'm just not. I'm not doing that. I will definitely get in contact with this person and see if they're interested in either coming on or letting me know or telling me if I can use them. But so far I'm not. The post they made along with it was they tagged the Blackford County Sheriff's Office in it. And this person says, Blackford County Sheriff's Office, tagging this page to show you all how absolutely out of control these parties are getting out on 500 East. These people are so drunk, they're running out in front of my vehicle and screaming and yelling at each other. They are illegally parked up and down the road, making it almost impossible to get through, and add 30 plus drunk people out in the road. I'm so tired of the loud music, the drag racing, the drunk driving, beer cans dumped all over the road, and absolute insanity. It is even, and the absolute insanity it is to even try and get down 500 East. And this has now been seen 37,000 times. Okay? That video has now been seen 37,000 times. And I want to just kind of let you see some of these comments, or read through some of these comments, rather, for you. Try and get this. And then I'm going to tell you kind of what the issue is here. Okay. So someone says, is that outside of Millgrove? Person says, it's literally constant. Yes. Girl, if that was happening when I was out there, that would have drove me insane. Completely understand why you're angry. It's so dangerous too. Cars normally speed down that road anyway. I honestly don't understand why this hasn't been addressed, or why these parents are allowing this to happen. I was going to say, it looks like those people are super young, and being that close to the jail, you would think for sure it would be addressed. Keep that in mind. They're close to the jail. All right, keep that in mind. I call them in, as I have many times before. I don't care if you're having a good time, but have a damn brain. These kids need to be arrested for underage drinking and public intoxication. None of them will ever learn if they are never held accountable. They are going to end up getting themselves or someone else killed. Now, this was just hours before someone was shot and killed out there. Someone says, is this Morris House? I don't know who lives there now. Someone says, yes, it is. The Morris house still lives there. Correction. Mark Morris is the one who lives there, not the whole family. They split up a long time ago. Yeah, I know they split up. Heck, we might even have been in school still, but I couldn't remember the first name. So he's just throwing underage parties? Also, kind of curious why this party wasn't shut down for underage drinking hours ago. And there was a call for service on June 28th at 11:46. Call for underage drinking. And to my knowledge, what I've heard up to this point, what I'm hearing is that initially, maybe the Blackford County Sheriff's Department and the Hartford City Police Department were both going out there. It looks like this is in the county, but maybe close to city limits. But in a situation like this, it would be like all hands on deck. Send everybody that you can, because you can't send 2 cops out there. That's nuts. You got to send everybody. Okay. So they were sent out there twice before the shooting, and there's logs of this. So I'm going to get all of the logs of all of the calls. I'm going to get how many times this house has been a nuisance, how many calls have been sent out there. I'm going to find out what officers have been going out there and why this is happening. Okay. So, I don't know, Tweety Bird. I don't know that yet. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of that information soon. I will let you guys know as soon as I know. So going on in the comments, someone says they use this road as a drag strip. It's a matter of time before something happens. It needs to stop before something does. Then someone says, sounds like something happened last night. Shots fired call was reported at 3:45 a.m. Okay. Now it just says a shots fired call. Okay. So keep that in mind. I guess I can show you this. So the initial, when I don't know that this was initial, but one of the calls was for underage drinking, and that was this. This just is a call for service. Underage drinking, June 28th, 11:46. Shows what's going on here. Okay. Then at 3:45 a.m., shots fired. Okay. Someone says, let's not talk about this on Facebook, please. What? Now, listen to this. Blackford County Sheriff's Office investigating fatal shooting on South County Road 500 East. June 29th, 7:27 a.m. The Blackford County Sheriff's Office confirms the Blackford County Major Incident Team, in collaboration with the Indiana State Police, is actively investigating a fatal shooting that occurred on South County Road 500 East in Blackford County. At approximately 2:45 a.m., deputies responded to a report of a shooting at a residence on South County Road 500 East. Upon arrival, officers discovered one deceased individual at the scene. The victim's identity is being withheld at this time. 2 suspects have been taken into custody in connection with the incident. Their names are being withheld at this time as investigators continue to gather evidence and conduct interviews. Okay? So that was there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's just a lot more comments. And there's people on there that's going to bat for the people that are having the party. Someone says, wow, the Blackford County Sheriff's Office should be ashamed of themselves. I get pulled over for my license plate cover, but they don't think anything's wrong with this. Laugh my ass off. They sit in Hartford all night, so no wonder nothing else gets done. This is absolutely horrific. If the police were called and nothing was done, then they should be held accountable. The video alone is disturbing. I can't imagine what it looked like on the actual property. This would never be allowed elsewhere. And there's just lots of comments. Now, let me tell you what the issue is and what I'm hearing about. What I'm hearing about is there's a major issue on why the police didn't do anything about this the first 2 calls. So put that in your mind. There's also this situation of the coroner not being notified for hours. hours, the coroner was not notified. And they allowed people to walk around the scene. Who knows what they did with the body? Did they take proper photographs? There is a reason why the coroner is to be notified on things like this. This is absolutely nuts that they didn't do this. And I'm hearing... Oh, give me 1 second. The sheriff apparently has released a statement. Person shot and killed, Blackford County. Thanks, Kate. 2 in custody. This was released at 11:57 a.m. Blackford County, Indiana. 2 suspects have been taken into custody after 1 person was found dead in Blackford County following a deadly shooting. According to a press release written by officials at the Blackford County Sheriff's Office, on Sunday around 2:45 a.m., officers arrived at a residence on South County Road 500 East after reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, officers found 1 deceased individual at the scene. Police have not released the victim's identity. His identity has been released at this point. Police are not releasing the names of the suspects at this time, and the investigation remains open. Police are asking anyone with information related to this case to contact the Blackford County Sheriff's Office, which is 765-348-0930, or the Blackford County Sheriff's app. The Sheriff's Office released a statement about the shooting. We want to take a moment to address the understandable grief, anger, and frustration surrounding the tragic incident that occurred during a party in our community this past weekend. Our hearts go out to the victim's family and everyone affected. There have been many questions and concerns about why the party was not shut down earlier. We want to be transparent. And my phone wanted to die. Die, phone. Give me 1 second. Okay. We want to be transparent. The deputies who responded spent approximately 40 minutes speaking with the residents and individuals hosting the event. Based on the information available to them at the time, they did not believe they had sufficient probable cause to take further enforcement action, such as shutting down the party for underage drinking. Law enforcement decisions are not always black and white. They are often made in real time with limited information and with responsibility to uphold the law while also protecting individual rights. We will continue to investigate this matter and learn from what transpired. Not all relevant or important facts necessary come to light in the 48 hours after an incident, and we will learn more in the days and weeks ahead. For that reason, all of us should be cautious about forming opinions or making conclusions based off bits of information, which I totally agree with. Speculation or information that turns out to be false or misleading. We will approach a review of this incident with transparency and candor. We ask all to be patient as we do so. Right now, all of our team, along with the rest of law enforcement partners, are working tirelessly to identify and bring to justice the individuals responsible for the violence that occurred. We hear you, we understand your pain, and we are committed to learning, growing, and continuing to serve and protect the community to the very best of our ability. Thank you for your continued support and patience as the investigation continues. Now, I can tell you that is a wonderfully worded statement that talks about the ability of them to learn. They're willing to learn. They want to be transparent. We will see how far that transparency goes. We'll see how serious they are as we issue record requests and ask for answers, and we continue to talk to them. What I want to know about is who was at this party that they did not want the investigation to really kick off until they got the hell out of there. I am hearing from sources. Now, I cannot confirm or deny this at this point, but I am hearing from sources that it was, for some unknown reason, the prosecutor's office, and I don't know who in the prosecutor's office, but someone in the prosecutor's office that for some reason made the determination to not notify the coroner's office or have law enforcement notify the coroner's office or not have dispatch notify the coroner's office. And if that is, in fact, the case, I want to know why. And I think the prosecutor's office is going to have to be very forthcoming with that information. Is there a family member from the coroner's office that was there? That's going to have to be a question. Listen, I don't want to speculate, but we got to ask real pertinent reasons and questions to reasons for things happening and questions for why things happen. We need to know these answers. Why would you not involve on a case like this where you're basically needing all hands on deck? Have the coroner's office come on out. Bring a deputy or chief deputy or 3. Come on. So I will be issuing a record request to lots of different agencies involved. Apparently, the state police were not involved until after the shooting occurred. So we're going to try to find out from all of these people what's going on. And I want to say anybody that knows what's going on, anyone that has any information that's out there that wants to get a hold of me, that wants to talk, I'm telling you, as I tell everyone, and I know that we're new to Blackford County, really. I know that, we don't do a lot in Blackford County. So I'm going to say this, and the people watching know, but the people of Blackford County don't know this. I do not burn sources. So if you are someone out there that has information, but you want to remain anonymous, you can email me, you can call me, you can text me, you can hit me up on Facebook. There's our social media. There's my YouTube link, our Rumble link. We have 2 Facebook pages. I have my Facebook page that's a personal, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, but I utilize it as it's my podcast, as it's the show page. It's Kristopher H. Bilbrey, The Political Spotlight. You can go there. It's open to all. I don't block anybody. You don't have to be a friend of mine. Matter of fact, you can't send me a friend request anymore because I'm to the limit that I have to delete people to be able to accept people. And it's not, you go ahead and send me requests because I am going back through to certain people and deleting someone that I don't interact with and adding people. So just send a friend request. I'll deal with it. But you can message me. You can also go to you can go to the Political Spotlight Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter. And then over there on the right-hand side, that's the studio line. You can call or text it. You can email me personally. You can email the show. That's khbilbrey@gmail.com or tpsprogram@gmail.com. So call, text, email, Facebook message, send up a smoke screen, do whatever. Get a hold of me. If you want to talk on or off the record, I will totally go by what you want to do. And I'm interested in what you guys have to say about this. No matter if you're in law enforcement, if you're someone in the prosecutor's office, the coroner's office, if you're someone in Hartford City Police Department, state police, if you're someone that was at the party, if you know the shooter, if you know why the party was going on, what the deal was, get a hold of me and let me know. Doesn't mean I'll use your information, but we'll do what we can. And there will definitely be a part 2 to this. I want to know this is something that if they would have just went the right way, we wouldn't be talking about. But the fact that they didn't call the coroner for hours just makes me wonder why. What's going on here? What's going on here? So we will be looking into this. We will continue to be looking into the Evan Broderick story from Madison County. We will continue to look into the Dustin story from here in Muncie. We will continue looking into what's going on with the lieutenant governor and his weirdo friends. We'll continue doing that, as well as looking into everything else. Also, we're just a couple of weeks away from the Winchester City Council stuff happening, and I'm going to be all on board for all of that. as well as what's going on in Madison County and what's going on in Muncie. So we got a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. I would highly, highly recommend, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do so. It does not cost you anything. You can subscribe on YouTube. Once you do, click the bell. That way you get notified when we are live. For those that are just tuning in and are new here, we are live 5 nights a week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 p.m. We also release shorts and other static content. That's the reason why you want to hit the bell. But we're here at 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and other days as well, sometimes depending on what's going on. So let us know. Get a hold of us. Hit the like button. That would be fantastic. God bless each and every one of you. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by this tragedy in Blackford County. And our thoughts and prayers go out to all of you. You guys have a great evening. We will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. That is Tuesday. And we might just have something interesting for you. We'll let you know. I don't know. Time will tell. All right. Take care. God bless. Good night. Goodbye. And goodbye. Goodbye.